The first 10 amendments. In 1787, America was a new nation that had recently won its independence from Great Britain. The Founding Fathers wrote the Constitution to create a new government. It was then sent to all 13 states to ratify or approve. The new Constitution created a strong central government. Some leaders worried that it did not protect individual freedoms. But at this stage, no state could amend or change the Constitution. Each one could only say yes or no. By 1790, all 13 states had ratified the Constitution. During this time, James Madison was working on a Bill of Rights designed to protect the freedoms of individual citizens. Eventually, states approved 10 amendments that changed the Constitution. All 10 amendments in the Bill of Rights are framed as limits on the central government. They're nearly all written in negative terms. Congress shall make no law. Congress shall not. Instead of making promises, they set boundaries. Right at the start, the First Amendment includes 5 freedoms: freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition. Next comes the Second Amendment, with its well-regulated militia or the right to keep and bear arms. The Third Amendment is entirely devoted to protecting you from having government troops take up residence in your home. Can you imagine having soldiers coming in to raid your refrigerator at 3 in the morning? The Fourth Amendment secures our freedom from unreasonable search and seizure. The Fifth protects you from being tried twice for the same charge, or from being forced to testify against yourself. That's the familiar right to remain silent, the one we invoke when we plead the Fifth. The Sixth Amendment ensures a fair trial in criminal cases, speedy and public and with a lawyer. The Seventh guarantees a jury trial in many civil cases. The Eighth Amendment protects against cruel and unusual punishment. Of course, what's cruel and what's unusual is left for the courts to decide. To ensure nothing is left out, the Ninth Amendment declares that just because certain rights aren't listed here, it doesn't mean that new rights can't be added. And the 10th Amendment says that any powers not specifically given to the government in the Constitution are reserved to the states and to the people. To the founding generation of Americans, the greatest threat to individual liberty was the governments they were creating. So even as they created it, they limited its powers. For hundreds of years now, Americans have continued to passionately debate the freedoms protected by the Bill of Rights. What's remarkable is that it has stayed intact as the cornerstone of democracy in the United States for more than 200 years.